New clip, we see APC governor candidate Nicholas Ukachukwu, who seems to threaten the Anambra deputy governor, Dr. Onyeka Ibezim, in public. It happened in the middle of a crowd during the state's by-elections, and in this video, you can actually hear Ukachukwu tell Ibezim, "You're not going anywhere," adding, "I will burn your cars here, you're not going anywhere." Let's watch this video and discuss it on the other side.
Are you a candidate? Are you a candidate? Nobody's moving. I'm going your cars here. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. God, you can run me up. Did you say we cannot be here? You cannot be here. We have no business to be here. A deputy governor. Not an election. You are deputy governor. You cannot go. You're not police. You think? You're not police. Are you police? Why are you going around? Community. So you have to go to every community. Am I pulling it? I can be my community. I'm pulling it. Hi, Jesus Christ. Let's
And Dr. Abati, I think I'll start with you on this, just because it's somewhat alarming to hear these kinds of open threats made in public and caught on camera. I know this video happened in the by-elections, but at this stage, how are you seeing this in the context of everything going on in Anambra State?
Well, I have argued that the major takeaway from the by-elections is simply that we have not learned any lessons. And it's not just this by-election. Since 1999 to date, all the elections conducted in this country, despite electoral reform and all of that, we have not learned any lessons. And there is need for us to continue to work on the electoral framework at all levels. The institutions involved, the personalities involved, the processes, and the management of elections generally. However, what this signposts is a statement about the leadership recruitment process. Now, we always talk about violence, thuggery during elections. These are leaders in their own right. The APC candidate, gubernatorial candidate in the upcoming November 8th election in Anambra, and the incumbent deputy governor of Anambra State meeting at a polling unit and threatening to beat each other up. And the APC candidate saying he will set fire to all the vehicles brought by the deputy governor. These are leaders, and they are talking like thugs, common thugs. So what kind of example are they setting for even the able-bodied men that they recruit to stand in as agents at these polling units? So this is a problem about leadership recruitment. And the people take their cue from the way their leaders behave. And I say this democracy is not going to move forward unless we begin to make sure that the people that are recruited into leadership positions at any level are persons who have the character. Because there seems to be a flaw of character with the people who lead us. Have we not seen in this same country during an election time when known prominent people in Nigeria will go and snatch ballot boxes? Or they will go to polling stations to intimidate people. This is just a clear example of it. And I think it's most unfortunate. And we hope that this will not be the pattern on November 8th when Anambra goes to the polls. And this should be a wake-up call for the security agencies to know that Anambra must be secured for the benefit of the ordinary people. If Nicholas Ukachukwu had carried out his threat to set fire to Ibezim's vehicles, imagine the kind of chaos that will have imploded with the two supporters on both sides fighting each other. So it's a very sad commentary on the character of Nigeria's professional political elite. And I say this without generalizing, because this appears to be the trend.
Absolutely.
Let me just say very quickly that, so following the by-elections last weekend, there were accusations and counter-accusations of violence. And so I'm just trying to give what might have been a background to this altercation and this very shameful display of anger and words, carelessly thrown around by both parties. So the Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu and the APC had come out to say that, accused Governor Soludo and his party of violence and hijacking the elections over the weekend. In fact, they released a statement and they're saying that it was whose was fire for fire. They even cited the example of the sitting deputy governor leaving his senatorial zone, central senatorial zone, to come to Anambra South, and that probably that was why he was checking him and saying that you are not above the law, and was trying to take matters into his own hands. Now, where there's a breakdown of law and order and you feel that you're not going to get fairness, everybody then decides to take matters into their own hands. And that is what we have seen a number of times in Nigeria. Now, we can obviously see that it's not limited to Nigerian citizens like you and I. Even for leaders, they don't trust the process such that he was, the affront of the deputy governor to come to his own senatorial district prompted him to say that he would not allow them to go, and he was willing to burn their cars to prevent them from coming into. I mean, this is a show of shame. In an ideal world, he should be brought into for questioning. This should have been investigated. We shouldn't even have an environment where things like this happen, and they don't care that people are recording and it could appear on social media. There's no concern for reputation. There's no concern. This is a man who is running for election in a few months' time, when he should ideally be on his best behavior, because he would risk losing his election. He didn't care, because it means that there's impunity, no consequences, and as we can see and we'll watch in the coming days, no consequences. Who is going to save us from this impunity in Nigeria?
Rufai.
See, with due respect, I don't know why you guys are surprised though. See, how many decent, when I mean decent all-rounder in morals, in character, in outlook, how many decent people go into politics in Nigeria? How many? Can you count? I'm not saying they're not decent, but they're decent people in politics. But how many? I mean, when you or whoever is watching is a person and says they want to go into politics, what's the first thing they tell you? They tell you don't want to be part of touts, talks, and the likes, and that's what's happening. But you see, the bigger joke is on the Nigerian people. And I'll ask you, as 2027 is coming, you're going to vote in this election. I just want a question for you. The man that you are going to vote, can you leave your 6-year-old child with that man for that child, that man or woman, to raise your child? Because there are lots of Nigerians that vote for people they can't even leave their own children with. And they say politics is different. But when their lives are now battered by those decisions, they start to cry. That's just my question. Whoever you're going to vote, can you leave your children with that man to raise for you in a situation where you are not there? That's a food for thought. Let's move ahead.
Absolutely. That is food for thought.